Amos chapter 5. Hear this word which I take up against you, this lamentation, O house of Yisrael. The maiden of Yisrael has fallen, not to rise again. She lies forsaken on her land, with no one to lift her up. For thus said the Adon Yahuah, the city that goes out by 1,000 has 100 left, and that which goes out by 100 has 10 left to the house of Yisrael. For thus said Yahuah to the house of Yisrael, Seek me and live, but do not seek Bethel, nor enter Gilgal, nor pass over to Beersheba. For Gilgal shall certainly go into exile, and Bethel come to naught. Seek Yahuah and live, lest he break out like fire upon the house of Joseph, and shall consume it, with no one to quench it in Bethel. O you who are turning right ruling to wormwood, and have cast down righteousness to the earth, he who made Kemah and Kesil, and who turns the shadow of death into morning, and darkened day into night, who is calling for the waters of the sea, and pours them out on the face of the earth. Yahuah is his name, who is flashing forth destruction upon the strong, so that destruction comes upon the stronghold. They hated the one who reproves in the gate, and they despise the one who speaks the truth. Therefore, because you trample on the poor and take grain taxes from him, you have built houses on hewn stone, but you are not going to dwell in them. You have planted pleasant vineyards, but do not drink wine from them. For I know your transgressions are many, and your sins are great, afflicting the righteous and accepting bribes, and turning aside the poor at the gate. Therefore the wise keep silent at that time, for it is an evil time. Seek good and not evil, so that you live, and let Yahuah, Elohim of hosts, be with you as you have spoken. Hate evil and love good, and establish right ruling in the gate. It might be that Yahuah, Elohim of hosts, shows favor to the remnant of Joseph. Therefore Yahuah, Elohim of hosts, Yahuah said this, There is wailing in all open squares, and in all the streets they say, Alas, alas, and shall call the farmer to mourning, and skilled lamenters to wailing, and in all the vineyards there is wailing, for I pass through your midst, said Yahuah. Woe to you who are longing for the day of Yahuah! What does the day of Yahuah mean to you? It is darkness and not light, as when a man flees from a lion, and a bear shall meet him, or entered his house, rested his hand on the wall, and a serpent shall bite him. Is not the day of Yahuah darkness and not light? Is it not very dark with no brightness in it? I have hated, I have despised your festivals, and I am not pleased with your assemblies. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your grain offerings, I do not accept them, nor do I look on your fattened peace offerings. Take away from me the noise of your songs, for I do not hear the sound of your stringed instruments. And let right ruling roll on like water, and righteousness like a mighty stream. You brought me slaughterings and meal offerings in the wilderness for 40 years, O house of Yisrael. But you took up Sikuth, your sovereign, and Kiun, your idols, your astral mighty ones, which you have made for yourselves. Therefore I shall send you into exile beyond Damascus, said Yahuah, Elohim of hosts, his name. Amos chapter 6. Woe to those at ease in Zion, and those trusting in Mount Shamaron, the distinguished ones among the chief of the nations, to whom the house of Yisrael comes. Pass over to Calneh and see, and from there go to Hamath the great, then go down to Gath of the Palestites. Are you better than these reigns, or is their border greater than your border? You who are putting off the day of evil, yet bring near the seat of violence, who are lying on beds of ivory, and are stretched out on your couches, and are eating lambs from the flock and calves from the midst of the stall, who sing idly to the sound of the harp, having composed songs for themselves like David, who are drinking wine from bowls and anoint with the finest ointments, yet they have not grieved over the breach of Joseph. Therefore they shall now go into exile with the first of the exiles, and the feasting of the stretched out one shall cease. The Adon Yahuah has sworn by himself. Yahuah Elohim of hosts declares, I am loathing the pride of Yaakov, and I have hated his palaces. Therefore I shall deliver up the city and all that is in it. And it shall be that if 10 men remain in one house, they shall die. And if a relative or his undertaker brings the remains out of the house, he shall say to the one inside the house, Is anyone with you? And he says, No. Then he shall say, Hush, for we have not remembered the name of Yahuah. For look, Yahuah is commanding, and he shall smite the great house with breaches and the little house with clefts. Do horses run on a rock? Does one plow it with oxen? For you have turned right ruling into poison, and the fruit of righteousness into wormwood. You who are rejoicing over a matter of naught, who say, Have we not taken horns for ourselves by our own strength? For look, I am raising up a nation against you, O house of Yisrael, declares Yahweh Elohim of hosts, and they shall oppress you from the entrance of Hamath to the Wadi Arava.